Gyanakosha, an encyclopedia of Vedic knowledge by Pact. Vedas. Rig Veda. Hymns and SOMA, mandala 9.
ओम गणानां त्वा गणपतिगं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपवज्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणान् ब्रह्मणस्पतकान् शृण्वन्नोतिभिः वेदसादनम् स्वादिष्टया मर्दिष्टया पवस्वसोमधारया इन्द्रायुपर्पातवे सुतः रक्षोः विश्वचर्षिनिर्भि योनिमर्यो हतं दृणा हृदस्तमासदत्.
Mandala 9, Sukta 104, Rishi Parvata Tendu Kanva in meter Ushnik, hail Soma Pavamana. Sit down, O friends, and sing aloud to him who purifies himself. Deck him for glory, like a child with holy rites. Unite him, bringing thousands, household wealth, even as a calf with mother kind. Him who had double strength, the God delighting Jews. Purify him who gives us power, that he, most blessed one, may be a banquet for the troop. Mitra and Varuna, voices have sung aloud to thee as finder out of wealth for us. We clothe the hue thou wearest with a robe of milk. Thou, Indu, art the food of foods, gods, O sovereign of all gladdening drinks. As friend for friend, be thou best finder of success. Drive utterly away from us each demon, each voracious friend. The godless and the false, keep sorrow far away. Shukta 105, Rishi Kanva in Ushnik meter. Hail Soma Pavamana. Sing aloud, O friends, to him who makes him pure for gladdening drink. They shall make sweet the child with sacrifice and loud. Like as a calf with mother cows, so Hindu is urged forth and sent, glorified by our hymns, the God delighting the Jews. Effectual means of power is he is a banquet for the truth. He who hath been effused, most rich in meat for gods. Flow to us, Hindu, passing strong, effused with wealth of kine and steeds. I will spread forth above the milk thy radiant hue. Lord of the tawny, Hindu, thou who art the god's most special food. As friend to friend, for splendor, be thou good to men. Drive utterly far away from us each godless, each voracious foe. O Hindu, overcome and drive the false afar. Shukta 106, Rishi Agni Chaksha in meter Ushnik, hail Soma Pavamana. To Indra, to the mighty steed, may these gold-colored juices go, drops rapidly produce that find the light of heaven. Effuse this juice victorious, flows for Indra for his maintenance. Soma, he thinks him of the conqueror as he knows. May Indra in his raptures gain from him the grasp that gathers spoil. And winning waters wield the steering strong thunderbolt. Flow vigilant for Indra, Thou Soma, ye Indu, run thou on. Bring hither splendid strength that finds the light of heaven. Do thou, all beautiful, purify for Indra's sake the mighty Jews. Pathmaker, thou far-seeing with 1,000 ways. Best finder of prosperity for us, most rich in sweets for gods. Proceed thou loudly, roaring on 1,000 paths. O Indu, with thy streams in might flow for the banquet of the gods. Rich in meat, Soma in our beaker take thy place. Thy drops that swim in water have exalted Indra's delight. The gods have drunk thee up for immortality. Stream affluence to us, 8 drops of Soma, pressed and purified. Pouring down rain from heaven in hoods and finding light. Soma, while filtered with his wave, flows through the long wool of the sheep, shouting while purified before the voice of song. With songs they send the mighty forth, sporting in wood above the fleece. Our plasms have glorified him of the triple height. Into the jars hath he been closed like an impetuous steed for war, and lifting up his voice while filtered glided on. Gold-hued and lovely in his course, through tangles of the wool he flows, and pours heroic fame upon the worshippers. Flow thus, a faithful votary, the streams of mead have been effused. Thou comest to the filter, singing from each side. Shukta 107, Saptashriya. In meter, Bruhati, hail Soma Pavamana. Hence sprinkle forth the dews effuse, Soma, the best of sacred gifts, who friend of man hath run amid the water streams, he hath pressed Soma out with stones. Now being purified, flow hither through the fleece inviolate and most odorous. We laden thee in waters when thou art effused, blending thee still with juice and milk, pressed out for all to see, delighting gods Indu, far-sighted one, is mental power. Cleansing thee, Soma, in thy stream, thou flowest in a watery robe. Giver of wealth, thou sittest in the place of law, O God, a fountain made of gold. Milking the heavenly udder for dear meat, he hath sat in the ancient gathering place. Washed by the men, the strong force, far-seeing one streams forth nutritious food that all desire. O Soma, while they cleanse thee, dear and watchful in the ship's long wool, thou hast become a singer, most like Angirasa, thou madest Surya mount to heaven. Bountiful, best of furtherers, Soma floweth on Rishi and singer. Keen of sight, thou hast become a sage, most welcome to the gods. Thou madest Surya mount to heaven. Pressed out by pressers, Soma goes over the fleecy backs of sheep, goes even as with a mare in tawny-colored stream, goes in exhilarating stream. Down to the water Soma, rich in kine, hath flowed with cows that have been milked. They have approached the mixing vessel as a sea, the cheerer streams for the furrows, effused by stone, O Soma, and urged through the long wool of the sheep. Thou entering the saucers as a man, the fort, gold-hued, has settled in the wood. He beautifies himself through the ship's long fine wool, like an impetuous steed in water and in war. Even Soma Pavamana, who shall be the joy of sages and of holy birds. O Soma, for the feast of gods, river like he hath swelled with surge, with the stock's juice exhilarating, resting not into the vat that drops with meat. Like a dear son who must be decked, the lovely one hath clad him in a shining robe. Men skilful at their work drive him forth like a car into the rivers from their bands. The living drops of SOMA dews pour as though flow, and they flow the gladdening drink. Intelligent drops above the basin of the sea, exhilarating finding light. May Pavamana, king and god, speed with his wave over the sea the lofty ride. May he by Mitras and by Varuna's decree flow furthering the lofty ride. Far-seeing, lovely, guided by the men, the god whose home is in the sea. SOMA, the gladdening dews, flows pressed for Indra and his Marut host. He hastens over the fleas with all his 1,000 streams. Men make him bright and beautiful. Purified in the bowl and gendering the hymn, wise SOMA joys among the gods. Robed in the flood, the mighty one hath clad himself with milk and settled in the wax. O SOMA, Indu, every day thy friendship hath been my delight. Many friends follow me, help me, thou tawny hued, pass on beyond these barriers. Close to thy bosom am I, SOMA, day and night, O tawny hued, for friendship's sake. Surya himself, refulgent with his glow, have we overtaken in his course like birds? Deaf-handed, thou, when purified, liftest thy voice amid the sea. Thou, Pavamana, makest riches flow to us, yellow, abundant, much deified. Making thee pure and bright in the ship's long wool, thou hast billowed, steer-like in the wool. Thou flowest, SOMA Pavamana, bound with milk unto the special place of God. Flow on to win a strength, flow on to lofty lore of every kind. Thou, SOMA, as exhilarator, was the first to spread the sea abroad for gods. Flow to the realm of earth, flow to the realm of heaven, O SOMA, in thy righteous ways. Fair art thou whom the sages, O far-seeing one, urge onward with their songs and hymns. Over the cleansing sea have flowed the Pavamanas in a stream. Girt by the Marutas, gladdening steeds with Indra's strength, for wisdom and for dainty food. Urged onward by the presser, clad in watery robes, Indu is speeding to the vat. He, gendering light, hath made the glad cows low, while he takes them as his garb of state. Shukta 108. Rishi Gauraviti Shankhya in Kakupa meter, hail SOMA Pavamana. For Indra, flow thou SOMA on as gladdening dews, most sweet, intelligent, great cheering, dwelling most in heaven. Thou of whom having drunk the steed acts like a steed, drinking of this that finds the light, he excellently wise is come to strengthening, food to spoil and wealth like Esther. For verily, Pavamana, thou bearest splendid, called all the generations of the gods to immortality. By whom the Dhayak Navayagva opens fastened doors, by whom the sages gained their wish, by whom they won the fame of lovely Amrita in the felicity of gods. Effused he followeth, and floweth in a stream, best rapture giver in the long wool of the sheep, sporting as it were the waters wave. He who from out of the rocky cavern took with might the reed drummerfulgent watery cows. Thou masterest the stable full of kine and steeds, burst it, brave lord, like one in mail. Press ye and pour him like a steed, loud worthy, speeding through the region and the flood, who swims in water, roam inward. increaser of the water, steed with 1,000 streams, dear to the race of deities, who born in law hath waxen mighty by the law, King, God, and lofty audiences. Make splendid glory shine on us, thou Lord of strengthening foot, God as the friend of God, unclose the fount of middle air. Roll onward to the bowls, O mighty one, effused as prince supporter of the tribes. Pour on us rain from heaven, send us the waters flow, incite our thoughts to win the spoil. They have drained him the steed of heaven, him with 1,000 streams, distilling rapturous joy, him who brings all things excellent. The mighty one was born immortal, giving life, listening darkness, and lightening darkness with his shine. Well praised by sages, he hath, by his wondrous power, assumed the threefold as his robe. Effused is he who brings good things, who brings us bounteous gifts and sweet refreshing food, SOMA who brings us quiet home. He whom our Indra and the Marutas host shall drink, Bhaga shall drink with Aryaman, by whom we bring to us Mitra and Varuna and Indra for our great defense. SOMA, for Indra's drink do thou, led by the men well weaponed and most gladdening. Flow on with greatest store of sweets. Enter the SOMA holder, even Indra's heart, as rivers pass into the sea. Acceptable to Mitra, Vayu, Varuna, the noblest pillar of the heavens.